Every morning, the same quiet mystery appears under the feeder. A little circle of shells, rejected seeds, and tiny footprints. It looks wasteful, almost rude, like the birds are throwing food away. But most of the time, they are not being messy at all. They are making fast feeding decisions with a very small tool. The mess is a message. A bird feeder is not a dinner plate to a bird. It is closer to a crowded shelf of tiny choices. Each seed has a different shell, size, shape, and reward inside. The bird has seconds to decide what is worth handling. That is why the cheapest mix often creates the biggest pile below. The favourite pieces disappear first, and the filler waits for gravity. To us, it is waste. To them, it is selection. Reason 1: birds are sorting. Many backyard birds strongly prefer black oil, sunflower, and fresh kernels. They may ignore harder, cheaper, or less familiar seeds in a mix. One viewer called cheap seed rat food, and the phrase landed. Because uneaten seed does not vanish when the birds leave. It becomes an invitation for mice, rats, squirrels, and damp soil. Milo, some millet, and dusty fragments often become the problem layer. The quiet fix begins before the feeder is even filled. The mix decides the mess. The second reason is simpler. Some birds are not dropping food. They are opening it, eating the kernel, and leaving the shell. Sunflower shells look like wasted seed after the meal is finished. That small husk can make a clean feeder look neglected by noon. Hulled sunflower hearts reduce shells, but they have one trade-off. Without the shell, they spoil faster in wet weather. So the best seed is still only best when it stays dry. Sometimes the trash is the wrapper. A third reason hides in the shape of the feeder itself. Open trays let birds stand inside the food while they search. One hop, wing flick, or sideways push can send seeds overboard. A robin hops across the tray, and a few seeds tumble below. Tube feeders slow that down because the bird reaches through one port. A tray with raised edges can also keep the story contained. The wrong feeder can make normal feeding look like chaos. Feeder design changes behaviour. If your feeder has a mystery pile, write what seed you use below. The fourth reason is not always a bird at all. Squirrels and chipmunks can empty a feeder with impressive speed. Some people love feeding them. Others just want bird food to last. Both feelings showed up again and again in the comments. The practical question is not whether squirrels deserve food. It is whether the feeder is doing the job you meant it to do. A baffle, spacing, or separate feeding zone can calm the whole system. Not every spill came from a beak. The fifth reason is pressure from a crowded feeder. At a busy feeder, birds are watching food and danger at once. A small bird may grab quickly, shift position, and drop what is awkward. Ground-feeding birds then turn the fallen seed into a second meal. Several birds trade places while fallen seed gathers under the pole. This is why some viewers said the mess was not a problem. In their yards, the ground crew finishes what the feeder started. A feeder has more than one dining room. So, what should you actually do with this knowledge? First, stop judging the mess before you identify what it is. Shells mean feeding happened. Whole seeds mean rejection happened. Sprouts mean the pile stayed too long in the same wet place. Rodent tracks mean nighttime cleanup has entered the story. The fix depends on which clue your yard is giving you. Read the pile before you fix it. If whole rejected seeds are everywhere, simplify the mix for 1 week. Try black oil, sunflower, safflower, Niger, or another targeted food. If shells are the issue, test hulled seed during dry weather. If the feeder spills easily, add edges, a catcher, or a tube feeder. If squirrels dominate, use a baffle or a separate feeding station. If food piles up, skip a refill day and let ground birds finish. Then rake lightly before damp seed becomes mold, sprouts, or rodents. The gentle feeder audit. There is one exception worth keeping in your mind. In deep winter, a perfect lawn may matter less than steady food. One viewer said they would clean after the snow disappeared. That is not laziness. Sometimes it is seasonal triage. The goal is not a spotless yard every morning. Clean enough can be kind enough. Once you understand the pile, the feeder feels different. The small mess becomes a record of choices, visitors, and weather. You notice who eats at the port and who waits below. You stop seeing failure and start seeing a living system. The mess becomes a map. So when birds throw seed out, do not start with blame. Start with the seed, the shell, the feeder, and the ground. That little pile is usually telling you exactly what to change. Comment with your mess clue: shells, whole seeds, sprouts, or visitors. Next, we will look at what birds learn from your daily routine. The yard was answering all along.